With smartphones giving us access to see almost anything with just a click of a button, it is no surprise that an interest in traveling has increased throughout the years. And although traveling can be a great experience, a lot of times it will be the biggest line item for somebody's discretionary spending within their monthly budget. I've been traveling a lot recently, and I thought it would be useful to share some of the things that I use to save money while I'm on my trip. Now, there's three components that almost everybody usually goes through when they decide to travel. The first one is flights to get to the location. Stay, you obviously need somewhere to stay temporarily. And saving money abroad, which includes excursions, transportation, and food. We'll go over each of these and see where we can save. Ideally, I like to put higher priority on things that are important to me and then save the money saving tips for the things that are less important. And before we start this video, I would just like to preface this by saying this is a financial channel. If you had to take out any debt in order to travel, I would strongly advise against it. You're going to put yourself far behind just for something that is temporary. But now that you have the warning, let's get into the tips. The first thing we're going to go over is credit cards, which falls into the flights category. Now, credit cards can be extremely useful because you can get points for just spending money on your everyday purchases. I personally have been using the Amex Gold card to rack up points that I can use for flying, but almost all the time, the main value that you'll see in these cards is in the sign-up bonus. Let's take a look at some of the best travel cards out there to see what they offer. Now, the first one that I was talking about is the Amex Gold. Right now, they have an offer where they're giving you 100,000 membership points as a sign-up bonus if you make $6,000 worth of purchases on the new card. I know a lot of people spend that on the usual. If you don't spend on the usual, you can get people to help you out reach that spending limit. The next one is the VentureX. Now, the VentureX, you can get 75,000 points just by getting that early spending bonus, and you also get a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus along with a $300 annual credit. As you can see with this card, the previous card, and the next card, most of them do have annual fees. You can also get travel credit cards without annual fees, but I just like the annual fees because usually they get you a better deal for credit card traveling points. The next one is that's really popular is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now you can get 60,000 bonus points when you use that spending bonus, which is $4,000 on purchases within the first 3 months. For me personally, I don't spend a ton of money per month, and I can still usually get at least 2 free flights a year by having some of these credit cards. Now, of course, this is with the annual fee included, and you have to account for that when you're deciding to get one. The next thing is Google Flights. Now, I love Google Flights because I use this to find cheap flights pretty easily. You have a map, all you have to do is use the map, just scan through the area. If you find a place that you like, you can click on it and get a cheap ticket. Now, there's also websites like Skyscanner and many others. If Google Flights doesn't suit you, feel free to use something else. And as you can see, I have Google Flights up right now. Right now, you see a flight from Washington, D.C. to Orlando, $68. For Dallas, $88. And even if you're paying over to different countries, let's say Europe, you can go to London for $400, Berlin for $400. And the key here is if you're not too stuck on the destination that you want to be at, it can be very advantageous for you to just look on Google Flights, not have anything set in mind, be flexible with your date and also the place, and you can get a great deal for some random country that you want to go to. The next thing up is housing. Now, for housing, we're going to go off with the things that are free to the things that get progressively more expensive. Now, the first thing that is honestly a great option is a website called Trusted House Sitters. Now, Trusted House Sitters is a place for homeowners and also people who want to travel. People who are homeowners are usually looking for somebody to chaperone or look after their pet. And for you to do that, they'll give you free housing for the extended time that they're away. Now, you can use this almost anywhere in the world. I think it's a great resource if you love dogs, if you love cats, and you feel like you're open to something like that, feel free to check out this website. The next thing is a part-time job for housing. There are plenty of jobs out there that will allow you to work there and also get housing abroad. I'm gonna leave some links below and also in the video somewhere that you can use to find places that you could actually work at where they would do this type of arrangement. Now, this probably will take some time up from your traveling destinations, but at the same time, if you have an extended stay, this can be very beneficial because housing costs can be a lot. The next thing is hostels. Now, hostels, they're not for everybody, but a lot of times when you go into a hostel, you will meet brand new people. You're absolutely staying with strangers, but at the same time, you're saving a ton on housing. And some people even prefer hostels because they could actually talk to other travelers, maybe hear some interesting stories. If that's something that you're into, there's hostels in almost every country. Just find a way to find one and you'll be able to save some more money. And the last thing is traveling with friends. I know this is pretty popular, and a lot of times it doesn't save in every area, but the one way it does save is usually with housing costs. If you're open to getting an Airbnb with a couple of your friends, you can turn a one-day stay that will probably cost you $120 into $30 per day. And of course, along with them being your friends, you can have fun on the trip more instead of just solo traveling. It might be a better experience, different experience, you never know. All right, so the next thing is we're going to saving money abroad. We're in the country now, we're in the thick of things, and we're trying to figure out how we can save some money. So the first thing that comes to mind is food. I know a lot of people are really big on trying different cuisines in different countries. If that's your thing, you might not want to cut your budget on food, but if that doesn't matter that much to you, and sometimes shopping in a grocery store in another country can be an experience in itself. But if you get an Airbnb or you stay somewhere that has a kitchen that you can cook, you go into the grocery store instead of going out every single time that you're in the new city will save you tons of money on your trip. The next thing is transportation. Now, I'm aware that sometimes you don't have options and there aren't really good public transport spots in certain countries. But for the countries that do have great public transportation, such as Tokyo, London, Sydney, Australia, New York, these are places that you can use the public transportation system and completely get rid of the idea of Ubers or renting a car, because renting a car in a different country is expensive. It's a hassle. You don't want to deal with it. A lot of times when I took the train or I took the bus, those were the trips where I saved the most money and still had a ton of fun. And the next thing is for saving money abroad is excursions. Now, for excursions, there's not too many things that you can do to save money on excursions, and a lot of times people will value this the most just to have something to do on the trip. One piece of advice is you can pick free things to do. There's tons of things like sightseeing that people love to do. You can hang out at a park, play some sports. But if that's not your thing and you're dead set on doing something at the desired country that you're going to, just make sure that you plan ahead. A lot of times I'll notice when I don't plan ahead and I'm in the country and just trying to figure something out, I end up spending more money than I intended to. But also I notice when I don't plan ahead is sometimes some of the things that I wanted to go to will end up being sold out, which totally derails my plans for the entire trip. So not only will it save you a lot of money planning ahead, it'll also make sure that you can do the things that you actually want to do. I know this video is probably longer than usual, but I try to implement almost everything I use to save money while I'm traveling. Let me know if I missed anything down in the comment section below. I'm sure it could help somebody out. But I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And there's a video right here if you're interested in anything financially related. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.